neck shaving is a big day.
Sometimes it's painful. Yeah. Joe, how are you, sir?
I'm doing all right. Hurting a little bit, but I'm all right. How are you doing, Nick? My armpits are killing me.
I'm not bad. Hopefully we'll get to why you're hurting a little bit later in the podcast.
Hopefully.
Cory, how are you?
Oh, hey.
Wearing your lucky red shirt, I see.
My podcasting shirt, yes.
And the illustrious Danielle Finn.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well. And I think I'll hand it off to Bob for maybe some of the housekeeping.
Well, can we get another reintroduction for the episode?
Yeah, it's episode 75 of the Schnozzcast.
For May 29th, 2020.
Time doesn't mean anything, really, on the podcast.
Time doesn't. The day does that.
Space, well, doesn't.
It helps in post-editing.
Hey, Danielle.
Okay. Hey, Bob.
Can you do me a favor and just tell the listeners why we announce the date every time we record the podcast?
I'm assuming so they're able to find them in order.
That's that's absolutely correct. Yeah. What's another reason why we might do that? Let's say someone in the year 2049 discovers the Schnozzcast and they want to know what day it was that Joe injured his armpits. How will they ever know that?
It's going to be difficult.
Yeah.
But you know what? They'll be able to narrow it down a little bit better with the episode number and knowing that the podcast is actually started instead of talking about Joe's armpits.
Oh, please turn this video off if you get a second. Hey, let's talk about a little bit of housekeeping.
Housekeeping.
I think as far as Spotify goes, they are really turning on the charm. I've gotten 5 emails from them this week. So
only 5?
That's 4 more than I normally get.
I was going to say that's a lot more than what it normally is, correct?
Yeah, they've stepped up their game. They're feeling their oats, I think, owning Joe Rogan, top to bottom right now. So it's everything from, hey, if you're just getting started with podcasts, here's how it's done. Attend our webinar and we'll show you how. To, we've got some sponsorship opportunities. To, hey, if you think you've got COVID, here's some podcasts to listen to. So they're really turning it on, and I'm almost ready to mark them as spam, to be honest. But,
as we say, they better be careful. If they do send too many emails that quick, they're going to start going into your junk folder.
Oh, directly in the junk folder. Absolutely. What can we do during this time of? Oh, okay. So apart from announcing the date, which Cory already did, what's the status in the world today? Michigan is starting to open back up. Other states have opened up as well, and somewhat mixed results. Some of the states are showing the biggest spike since April. Others not reporting much difference. I think it's just going to be a time will tell kind of thing. But hats off to all those dumb sons of bitches in all those states for blazing the trail, letting all of us know whether or not things are going to be good or going to be bad. So we'll follow their lead. So good news is, what can you do while you're out there waiting? Nick Bader, what if people are still sort of not feeling like they can go out and have a meal at a restaurant with their families, and they want something to occupy their time while they're sitting in the house trying not to kill each other, what can they do?
Oh, well, you can go downtown Royal Oak and order the freshest lobster in the world from seafood markets and make sandwiches, all whilst listening to the Schnozzcast on your favorite audio content app.
Unbelievable. That was fantastic. Even better than I could have imagined.
Yeah, that's right. That's what we do.
Do you want to take a second just to explain the grandeur, the splendor, in fact, that was your lobster experience this week?
Oh, my God. Yeah, it's like 2 weeks in a row now. Dad went and surprised everybody, and picked up for my grandma and my aunt and himself, and obviously he knew I was coming, and so I guess he found a place in Royal Oak, I think, or Birmingham, that sells lump lobster meat. Like, they take it out of the tail, they take it out of the claw, they take everything, put it in a nice quarts size container. I think that's what it is. What, 2 quarts maybe? That size container I sent you the picture of. I don't know, but big old think lobster. It's Hazel's. I think
Okay.
Hazel's, yeah. For people that are not listening to the audio content and actually can see the Facebook Live, you can see, that container was probably about 8 inches tall of straight lobster meat. So they give you everything. So they asked, do you want it Maine style or Connecticut style, which I had no idea what the difference was. I had only had Maine lobster rolls before. So I guess the Maine style is you mix it with like the mayonnaise mixture, the seasoned mayonnaise, and the Connecticut style, they use, they saute it a little bit, just warm it basically in butter and put it on toasted buns. So
And that's the way to do it.
They gave us a side of clarified butter at that, which was amazing if you haven't had clarified butter.
I can't wait until we're back in your basement and I can individually mute Cory while you're telling a story like this. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, he's it's hard for him to sit on his hands when lobster's involved.
This is true.
But as you can see, or if you can't see, we had nice grilled hoagie rolls and giant. We made some giant lobster rolls with the most lump lobster I've ever had in one sitting in my life. It was amazing. I can't even imagine how much my dad spent on it, and apparently he's done that one time each week for 4 weeks this month. So one of the ladies that he knows at work said that he needs to tighten up the purse strings a little with the lobster because it's getting a little out of control. So I'll let him make that decision. But last week he did pick up the lobster bisque and the lobster meat, and I brought some back for Cory to try. And I don't know if it was the alcohol flowing or what, but he didn't speak for about 20 straight minutes.
Yeah, I don't think it was. There was some licking of the bowl, as though he was he'd been marooned in a desert island for 4 years.
First and foremost, it was not 20 minutes. That bowl was gone in at least 10.
That might be true.
There was some savoring going on, but I've never seen. Go ahead.
If you could also get the name of this lady that works with your dad, and I'll take care of that issue.
Was this Hazel's in Birmingham?
Yes, Hazel's in Birmingham.
So it's called Hazel Ravines in downtown in
Okay.
Peabody Street in Birmingham, in case anybody is in the area.
Yeah, but it was, I mean, it was like you went somewhere in Maine. I mean, it was so fresh. There wasn't, pieces of shell or anything like that in it. And like I said, God only knows how much it probably cost, because I definitely was not the one paying for it. Thank my dad for doing that. But maybe based on what he paid for it, then that's why you get everything the way you do. But it came with the rolls and everything. It was really, really good. So hats off to him for that.
Excellent. So just finish up housekeeping. There was a website that I wanted to recommend. Now that Joe's walked away from the microphone, I'll have to tell him later.
Oh, I'm here.
Okay. So there's a website called 90kids.com that has free retro games that you can play. It's all through the browser. But just one quick look brings you to Mario, Mortal Kombat, Sonic the Hedgehog, Street Fighter 2, Tetris, Super Smash Flash, and a lot of that stuff that I feel confident that I'm not the only one in this podcast that recognizes some of those games.
Never heard of them.
Exactly. So if you're bored and trying not to kill your family while you're stuck inside. 90kids.com. Check it out. So that's it for housekeeping. Hey, Danielle, let's pivot real quick over to the new, what's really been new to the podcast, the exciting world of Funko Pop. In your opinion,
Oh God.
I'm not talking to you, Cory. I'm talking to Danielle. In your opinion, how many of your future financial plans have been derailed completely by Cory's new obsession with Funko Pops?
I don't think anything.
Have you had to, let's say, postpone any home improvements, or let's say savings for retirement, or having wages garnished just to pay for the Funko Pops? Funko Pops?
No.
Funko Pops?
Kind of like Funko Pops. No? All right. I trust that you will, before it gets to that point, you're going to put your big iron boot down on his neck and just tell him no more spending. All right.
Danielle, between the flux of all the new figurines, what room is that Cory's in?
The living room.
The what?
The living room.
Between the flux of the new dolls in the living room, and so many of them, and now the fact that Cory himself has moved into that little rabbit hole, do you notice any bowing of the timbers in the living room? No, in the floorboards or anything like that? Okay.
No.
I would keep an eye on it.
Okay.
Have you received any emails from Zillow telling you that the value of your house has decreased?
No.
Any phone calls from real estate agents asking if you'd be interested in listing this at a reduced cost?
No.
Neighbors noticing the foundation is slipping? No.
Salvation Army trucks driving by the front asking if you'd like to take one of their beat up couches and put it on your front lawn?
No.
Okay. Well, that's really all. So that's all for Funko Pops, folks. Let's move on to another topic.
No, we haven't covered the rest of that topic yet.
No, that's it for the rest of the night.
No. There's big news on the Funko front.
Let's first of all, let me just say, I woke up one morning, Nick Bader, to look at my phone and find that somebody that I know, whose name rhymes with Schnorry Flabowski, had invited me to a Facebook group that is all about people that buy these fucking Funko Pop things. I assume that you got the same invitation.
Yeah, unfortunately. And even though I ignored it, it still shows up with things on my time feed, or my time, whatever the fuck it's called, feed, wall, whatever.
That's good. That is very good to know.
News feed.
Yeah, thank you, Joe.
After we're done with the podcast, I'll tell you how you can get that shit off your Facebook feed.
No, I think I know how. And I just haven't cared enough to do it. But
it's totally worth it.
I think once we start having a segment on the podcast starring Cory Selesky called Funko This, I think then I know it'll be time.
Well, for the first segment of Funko This.
Why would you do that?
Why didn't I get an invite to that page, Cory?
You're lucky. I wish I was you.
And I don't know which one of your 20 Facebook pages to send it to.
I have one.
Don't. Why are you giving him breadcrumbs to get to your house? Don't give him the opportunity to do that.
I just don't feel like being left out.
In this case, count yourself lucky, sir.
So something big occurred today. I woke up to a message from one of the guys that we met while hunting for Funko Pops, and he gave me a lead on something that I've been dying for.
You got a Funko guy?
I do have a Funko guy.
What's he smell like?
He's a very pleasant guy. As a matter of fact, Tim. Well,
it's a Funko.
Oh, let me talk to him before I give out his full name on here. But
Cory, I didn't know that you Funkoed with guys.
Only on Fridays and Saturdays.
Multiple times on Fridays and Saturdays.
So he gave me a lead on one on Facebook Marketplace, and it's the cheapest I've been able to find it thus far.
He gave you a lead on somewhere that you could have looked just with a search. That's not really a lead. Funko guys are supposed to give you leads on things that you wouldn't have been able to find on your own.
He wouldn't have found it on his own.
It's like insider trading, Cory. If you can just Google it and find it, then.
Yeah, what do you mean you wouldn't have found it?
Well, it was something that literally just came up on Facebook Marketplace. So he found it within seconds of it being put on there. So it
How
wasn't.
how hard was your dick?
Well, when you see what it is, you'll know.
It's not like he found a certain plot of land in a certain valley that he was able to sift some of the sand, and one of the brand new Funkos that no one can find just came out of nowhere.
He might as well.
These are stored. You can go buy them.
I
You don't have to find them.
Actually, that is incorrect. You cannot go buy this one.
Oh, you have to sift through sand to get this one?
Yeah.
You do.
Did you just coin a new term, the Funko archaeologist?
Yes.
Sifting sand to try to find.
So,
all right, for an audio podcast, let's describe what's happening here. He's very slowly rolling his chair back and slowly coming back with some sort of a.
Danielle, this 401k, long gone.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Long gone.
So describe what you're showing everybody, sir.
I was waiting for you guys to stop talking. I came across the dude from The Big Lebowski on Facebook Marketplace for the cheapest price I have been able to find it anywhere on the internet.
What was that price?
Hear it.
This
Don't
one,
lie.
I talked to you. She had it listed at 60, which they go for over 75. The cheapest I've seen on eBay so far has been in the $90 range.
I thought those were the ones that were like 200.
No, Walter's 200.
For a little dowel.
Well, she had it listed at 60. I was able to talk her down to 55. So,
which means that thing's probably worth about $15.
I'm glad the Dow thing's catching on. Thank you.
She fleeced you. She fleeced you like you wouldn't believe.
The great news is, Joe, that that's only one of like 5 or 6 different dude variants, and he's still got to hunt for the other 4.
No, believe it or not, this is the only one they make of him.
Is this the new age? What were those things that they were giving away at McDonald's?
Tamagotchis.
Beanie Babies. Is this the new age Beanie Baby?
Yeah, Tamagotchis.
Look, I got the Princess Diana, whatever those things are called.
Yeah, and I still haven't met one person that's been like, "Hey,
I'm gonna hang on to these."
I just put an offer on my second home because I found all my old Beanie Babies and sold them. Man,
Yeah, right.
They went like hotcakes.
Now we're shit.
Yeah.
Danielle, he needs to be stopped. He's out of control.
I
would say, and she's right there with me. She's gotten just as many as I had.
But the two of you think these are going to appreciate in value, and they're not.
That's not why we're buying them.
Why are you buying them then?
Pretty soon.
They buy them to play with.
No, we
You
don't.
play with them? Oh.
No.
They do what all good collectors do. They put them on a shelf so they can look at them from time to time.
But it's the same mentality of like getting all the Beanie Babies from McDonald's and then hoarding them and being like, "Oh, my Aunt Jan did that."
That's actually not the same mentality by any means.
It's close. Yeah.
Not even close.
It's in the back of your head. You haven't thought about it yet, but that's what it is.
Not even close.
Your whole house is going to be decorated with these things?
Not true.
It's like NASCAR plates.
No.
Not even close.
Yeah, Danielle, so
Whatever.
this weekend, I think I'd like to, we should really go to Target because we need a bigger bookcase now that we've got so many Funkos. This one's it's not tall enough. And we need to.
They already need a bigger one.
Cory, I'd really like to go on vacation this year. How about Cancun or Vegas? Sorry, babe. Funko Pops.
It's Cleveland.
Cash this out. Yeah. We're going to Cleveland.
I told him last week, I said, I'm just so happy now that case is filled that you can't get any more. And I saw a sparkle in his eyes that only you would see at Santa Claus on Christmas.
Ding-a-ling-a-ling.
Yep.
He's like, he mumbled something under his breath. And I have a feeling that was, this brand new shelf for all these that I just bought is going to go out the door or be used for something else. And I'm going to buy a bigger one.
Exactly. I talked Danielle into throwing away some of her mother's collectibles and family heirlooms to make room for my Funko Pop dolls.
There you go.
But it's important that they be in the frame too. But that would mean that he would have to get a taller shelf and move that picture of the dude.
Yeah. Gonna have to reconfigure this whole operation.
Yeah.
Well, just to recap, to end the what the Funko section of this podcast. Some of the stories I've heard since Cory's, for lack of a better term, shacked up with his significant other, have been shelves of Funko Pop dolls and White Claw boxes on top of porch lights.
Yeah, we need to take that down too. I think Robin season is over.
Got rid of that Robin. I don't care.
Danielle.
It's like a fire hazard.
If you get
Put the light on.
if you get a good hardy stapler and a hot glue gun and some black spray paint, you can turn those White Claw boxes into another Funko Pop shelf.
There you go.
Genius, sir. Genius, I tell you.
A little bit of plaster of Paris and make them all hard, and you'll be good to go.
Paris. All right, moving. Can we please move on? It doesn't matter to what.
Yeah, please.
Go ahead, Cory.
Oh, thank you guys for being so excited about the Big Lebowski Funko Pop.
We are excited.
Cory, I took my pants off.
I hope so.
That's how excited. I have no pants on right now.
He actually didn't have pants on in the first place because the one leg, it was too swollen for him to pull
I can get pants.
The denim, the denim over it. I'm just so happy that after the segment's over with, then we don't have to come back to that topic.
Oh, we'll come back to it.
No. We're happy for you in the way that a dog owner is happy when he brings another dead animal to the backboard. You're like, oh, good boy, you got him. But okay, give me that. We need to get rid of that now.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
I don't think that's the case, but okay.
All right.
Ooh, sorry.
So can we get a gentleman's agreement?
God, please.
God, please. All right. Let us start with the one who's been the quietest thus far. Ooh, looks like she's checking her phone.
That's all she does.
Perhaps try to figure out how to get out of there really quickly in case things get really bad.
She
Danielle.
Googles, what is the most boring podcast on the face of the earth? Oh, well, the Schnozzcast.
So, Danielle, what were you supposed to watch? Remind the listeners.
The Wrong Missy.
On Netflix?
Yes.
Okay. And your thoughts?
It was actually pretty funny. I wasn't 100% sure because David Spade is like the main.
Not a Spade fan?
I mean, he's in a lot of Adam Sandler stuff, which is also, I'm pretty sure, I don't know if he directed it or.
Yeah, he's the director and producer.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But no, it ended up being pretty funny.
Who is the
plot was kind of I mean, I figured it out before it actually happened, but
yeah. That's a killer for me. If I figured it out, I mean, it wasn't a mystery, right? It was supposed to be a comedy.
Yeah.
But you're saying the plot was kind of telegraphed right in front of you?
A little bit. I still liked it. I enjoyed it.
Who's the actress that was the star in that? Had you seen her before?
I didn't know what her name was, and I had to look her up to figure out where I'd seen her before.
Okay.
But it was, I still don't remember what her name was. She was just on a couple of episodes of The Big Bang Theory, so that's where I knew her from.
Okay. So have you seen a lot of Adam Sandler films?
Yes.
Okay. So on a scale of, let's say, Happy Gilmore down to, help me out, Cory, on the lower end of the scale.
Jack and Jill.
Grown-ups? Oh, Jack and Jill. There you go. On a scale from Jack and Jill up to Happy Gilmore, where would you say this falls?
Like a 6 or 7.
Okay. All right.
Lauren Lapkus was the starring female role.
Lauren Lapkus?
Yeah.
What's she been in before? Do we know?
She was in, well, as Danielle said, The Big Bang Theory. I think that's her best known. I believe she did some stand-up too. She was in the characters.
Okay, she seems like a comedian.
Okay, that's probably how she got it. Spades is stand up, and Sandler is got back into it anyway.
She was in Between Two Ferns, the movie.
Oh, okay. All
and
right.
then she had a bunch of roles on Orange is the New Black.
Okay.
And then it looks like Big Bang Theory would be her next biggest thing that she was in. Lapkus. The second you see her face, you'll recognize her from. I said she's had like a bunch of little cameo roles, and I said I know she's big in the comedy scene.
Right.
So you'll recognize her face, but yeah, as far as like name and other stuff she's been in, it was kind of hard to pinpoint.
Okay. Yeah, I recognized her when I saw the trailer. I just didn't know who it was. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Cory, how about you?
I had Lost the first 2 episodes.
Yeah? And?
Yeah.
Through it?
I did. So we had some ups and downs.
Hold on. Did you actually watch it or did you not watch it?
No, I did. I actually watched it.
Danielle, why are you chuckling?
Because he hated it.
Oh, I'm fine with that. Okay, I thought you were chuckling like he did not watch it.
Well, no, hang on now, because there's like I said, there were some ups and downs, and
okay.
I can now reveal what Tony was chuckling about the other night when we were at Nick's house, and I was kind of whispering to him the plot twist. I thought everything was going. So,
all right. So for the listeners, spoilers here. Obviously, Lost is like 6 seasons of mysteries and shit. So if you don't want to hear about any of that stuff, skip forward about 6 minutes.
Yeah, and it's also like 20 years old. So
I know it's an old show. So,
but it's one that continually keeps being recommended by people to their friends.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, so the first up, the whole introduction with the plane crashing and all that. I'm like, all right, cool. Everyone's stranded on an island. It's going to be a war of who kills who loves who, all this and that. I'm like, that's not a bad plot. And then, so in the very, very first episode, the twist that I'm like, okay, screw this series. When they were standing at night and you hear something start rustling around in the woods. And I'm like, son of a bitch. If they're really going to bring dinosaurs or fucking aliens into this, I'm done. I'm completely done. If this is going to take a sci-fi twist, I can't do it. How stupid is that? You land in an island and there's fucking dinosaurs.
So you didn't like Jurassic Park?
You didn't see Jurassic Park?
I saw it, but I really didn't care for it.
Oh my God. Blasphemous.
And the plot behind that is they were making it as Jurassic Park. That's what it was supposed to be. They resurrected these dinosaurs. This is, there happens to be dinosaurs here.
Did you see Jurassic Park 2? Where the people...
No, I didn't see Jurassic Park 2.
To the original island where they had made the dinosaurs and happened to think exactly the same thing. Like, oh, I didn't know there were dinosaurs here.
I did not see 2.
Okay. Go ahead.
That's probably why they didn't take Lost in that direction, because it had already been done before.
Well, so I'm like, okay, I got to get through 2 episodes. So started the second episode, and when they revealed that, okay, it was a polar bear that the guy ended up shooting. I'm like, all right, I guess maybe I can continue on with the Lost series. I do like how everything's kind of broken down. They're going, character by character, kind of giving the background of what, where they came from and what, what occurred while they're on the plane. I mean, there's some comedic parts to it as well that kind of help out. What's his name? Hugo or whatever, Hurley. Mm-hmm. Obviously he's going to be the comedian of the entire series, as far as what I can tell from what I've seen. And also heard from plenty of people that was kind of his role in the show. So, like I said, I was a little disappointed at first because I thought it was going to take that kind of turn, which it still could, obviously. But maybe I'll give a couple more episodes here after watching 2 of them, see what turn it takes. But so far, not terrible.
Not terrible.
Not terrible.
Nick, any questions you want to ask him? Yeah, you assigned him the show.
Yeah, who was your favorite character so far?
Well, I'm toss up between, obviously you have Jack the hero, or that's the way he's seeming so far. But I think Hurley's going to come out and be my my favorite character, just because of the comedy and his overall personality so far.
Why is there? What about Hurley? Is it that is drawing him to you?
Well, because it's kind of funny now, because you're listening to Dave and Chuck the Freak and hearing about Lost and how many people were coming up to Andy and being like, Andy Green, you look just like Hurley from Lost. And now I've actually seen it. I'm like, oh shit. Like, that does look like Andy Green. So finding Andy Green to be funny, and then seeing Hurley and just kind of putting the two into one kind of person. And then just, I don't know, he just seems like the fat, clumsy dude that's going to do a lot of dumb shit, but it's going to end up being funny.
Okay.
Like, just him, like, laughing at the Chinese guy about the sushi that he created on the beach. And he's like, oh, man, he's like, I'm hungry, but I am not that hungry yet.
Right.
And the guy kind of just starts slowly walking off, and he's just laughing at him that he brought him raw fish. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I mean, I'm sure if he would have ate it, he probably would have found it absolutely amazing. But
yeah, he brought him sea urchin.
Yeah, that's I'm like, this is gonna be, that's gonna be his character, obviously, the kind of dumb funny guy.
I'm going to try to draw a straight line here if I can. The poster on the wall behind you is a poster of whom?
The dude from The Big Lebowski.
And do you think that has any parallels at all to Hurley's character in some way?
You're saying just kind of like the laid back, like, I mean, I guess this really hasn't been portrayed too much in his character yet, but just how
was the word that over 2 hours of Lost that you heard Hurley say the most?
Oh shit, that's a good question.
I know what it is.
Dude.
Yeah. Dude.
You know what?
Dude.
That was subliminally in the back of my mind, because now that you say it, I realize that he did say that a lot, but I did not pick up on that when I was watching it.
When it originally aired, they would do at the end of the episode. This was sort of like 2002? No. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, early 2000s. So the internet was around, but it wasn't huge. But they would do, at the end of it, they would sort of do a recap, and like everybody around the water cooler would be talking about the show. It was, one of the, besides Seinfeld, a big water cooler show. And one of the things people always talked about was like, what was the dude count last night? Like, oh, I missed the episode. Well, I haven't watched it yet. Big dude count? They go, oh yeah, huge dude count tonight.
So it was one of those things that actually really caught on. People paid attention to.
They were insane for it. Absolutely.
Okay.
Everybody was talking about it.
See, now you're going to have me doing that. If I do continue watching it, I'm going to have to do a dude count.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's going to be Cory's only reason to watch it now.
Most likely.
Nick, did you say you were doing a rewatch of it right now?
Yeah.
Okay. How far into it are you?
I'm in, I think just started season 2.
Okay.
So it's just weird how many turns it takes. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a fan as well. So Nick, what about you? Did you actually watch?
I watched 3 of 4.
3 of 4 of the episodes of Fleabag?
Yes.
I don't like the way you're saying that with your eyes closed.
Oh my God.
I'm going to say he's going to go with a phenomenal here.
Oh my God. I almost couldn't get past 1. It got better after 1.
Okay.
But oh my God. I mean, it's cool that she's hot, but I don't know. Maybe I haven't had enough exposure to like British comedy. So
that could be.
That might play a part in it. I never saw the British version of The Office. I haven't watched
Monty Python.
Nope.
Blackadder, Mr. Bean. What else?
Nope, and nope.
Okay. So that could be it.
That might be it. And but to me it was really tough. It was really, really tough. Like some of the moments I was like, okay, that's funny. And I like the, the different camera angle aspects of, how they do things and how she, talks to the camera a lot. But I don't know. I just, it felt more like a chick show to me.
Okay.
It felt like something that girls would find very funny.
Mm-hmm.
But I just couldn't relate a lot to it, going on and on about your period, that I can't sit. Oh God. Yeah. Like
Right.
a 5-minute segment about, what kind of flow I'm having and what tampons I should buy, can't really get on board with that. Or
yeah.
So that was my only thing. I think and obviously it's no offense to you, because whatever's funny is funny.
Mm-hmm.
And to each their own on that. But, I could see, a bunch of girls like getting together and drinking wine and like really cracking up at the show.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as me, I'm just like, it was painful to try and keep my interest. Yeah, there was a lot of cringe moments in the show.
Yeah, I think that's what it traffics in, and that was certainly the thing that one of the reasons why I loved it was a lot of it's a lot like the original Office, which the American Office also didn't have a laugh track, which is one of the reasons why Cory's watched it at all. But it was famous for sort of pioneering those cringe-worthy, real life moments like that, and so this was just sort of the same thing from a different viewpoint, different setting, different context.
And maybe, like I said, maybe it's sort of, for lack of better terms, like language barrier kind of thing. There's a lot of, like I could understand Charlie in Lost.
Mm-hmm.
But if the whole cast was a bunch of Charlies, I don't know if I could get behind it, because you bloody sod, calling someone, and if they're all talking like that, I'd be like, I feel like I'd have a hard time keeping up, but
the funny thing is you do those accents.
Oh, I know, but the thing is that, there's a lot of, when you get into that, Manchester or, even deeper in the UK, it's almost like our version of, the South. And there's a lot of that slang for someone from the outside, even though we speak English. It's different. It's like saying, oh, well, people in Mexico speak Spanish, so people in Spain should be able to understand them. Well, that's not the same. There's a lot of slang just because the language is the same. It doesn't, there's a lot that's lost in translation there, So I found myself a couple times she would say something and I'm like, what, did she just call him gay? And then she said like, are you okay? But she's like, yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Like something like that. And I'm like, what did she say? So I don't know, maybe if there was Americanized version of it, or maybe it gets better after the 4th episode or something like that. Cause I did not like the first episode whatsoever. The second episode and the third got a little bit better.
I appreciate you watching the 3.
I mean, yeah.
That's what this whole thing is about. You're going to get strikes. There's going to be gutters, and you're not going to like everything but now I have a much better idea of the kind of stuff that you like.
Oh, I think Cory would kill himself if he watched it.
Oh, I never would have suggested that to Cory unless I really wanted to punish him. Like, hey, Mr. Funko Pop, take that.
No, Cory. I almost just want to see Cory watch like the first 2 episodes just to hear about it, because there's no way. There's no way. No.
You think Danielle would like it?
I don't know. I don't really know Danielle's sense of humor, but I feel, not to be too general, but I feel it's more of a show that would be well received by girls. Okay. There's a lot of, he's really boring, but he's got a big dick. And, there's a lot of like guttural girl humor that
I watch
talking-
a lot of that.
No, I'm just saying that girls would be like, giving vibrators as birthday presents and stuff. It's like, oh, okay.
Well, that's funny.
Maybe a girl would chuckle at that, but
I laugh at that every time.
She's in the store debating on the tampons to buy, but there's some guy that she finds attractive, so she gets the lower flow tampon, and then it's like, oh my God, okay.
Danielle's like, oh, if I had a nickel.
Yeah. Well, you could appreciate it more than I could.
Maybe.
Yeah.
The cool part, Nick, is that based on everything that you said, I, without a shadow of a doubt, know that you actually watched those 3 episodes.
Yeah.
I don't need to give you any kind of a test. I know you watched them. Joe, you still out there? Are you off camera? Yeah, he's off camera. All right. Let me real quick do this, and then we can. We're like way overdue for a shot.
Yeah.
So my watch was assigned by Danielle. It was Coachella. You're in the desert? No.
20 years in the desert.
20 years in the desert.
20 years in the desert.
Yeah. Fucking great. It was absolutely, it was something I was planning to watch. So I was really happy to finally get something assigned to me that I had planned to watch anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to Lollapalooza many times, always wanted to go to Coachella, but it's one of those things where you're going to have to take a trip and you're going to have to sleep in a tent. And after seeing, Woodstock 99 footage and all that sort of stuff, I'm like, I don't have any desire to sit in there in the mud and with, people throwing up outside my tent because they, took too many mushrooms last night and, raves until 4 a.m. when I'm trying to sleep. I'm like, I'm like past all that stuff. So it's kind of a nice, like, oh, I'll take a trip in my mind and this is what it would have been like. And it was great. And there were I learned a ton of shit that I didn't know about. I had seen a lot of those performances before on YouTube or on, the band's websites for shows that they did. But I thought it was really well done. And anybody who's a music fan, anybody who's ever gone to a festival of any kind should absolutely watch it. Just because of all the different, they really went into, there were more performances than I thought they would show. So they did a really good job of balancing out the performances and the interviews with the promoters and the musical acts and things like that. So I thought it was really good.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right. Yeah. What's the matter? What?
Oh, her just sitting over there taking all the credit for something that I brought to her to show to her.
Well, yeah. Well, no.
Yeah.
No. Krabby told us about it.
He did. I remember that episode because he's on the podcast.
We watched it after Krabby talked about it.
And you can't get mad at her for taking something that you both heard and her actually assigning it to me. You didn't assign it to me. She did. And
I did ask him what if I should give you that or a different one, which I can't remember what the other one was at this point now.
Yeah.
He was like,
yeah, that is true. Exactly. So yeah, you're welcome, Bob.
What did he say? Sorry, what did he say, Danielle?
Because I asked him before we said what we were giving out. It was between that and another thing, but I can't remember what the other thing was. But he was the one that said, oh, he'll like the one on Coachella.
Okay. So you could have ignored that, but you decided I think, yeah, that's what I'm going to.
I think the other thing I would have told you too, you probably would have liked. I just can't remember what it was.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm sure you'll come up with it before we do it again. All right. I got to go grab, if you want to start the toast, whatever, I got to go grab mine.
Yeah. Well, we know what Bob and Cory are going to be grabbing because.
Oh yeah. I want to try what you have to.
Because I was told by my buddy at the liquor store that no, they don't have any apple pie, but aren't you part of that trio? I said, excuse me? And Bob will appreciate this. So, Bob, I stopped by my favorite liquor store today.
So did I.
Yeah, I know. And I said, I looked up and I'm like, I really feel like that, I'm the squirrel that found out where all the nuts are and I bragged about it too much. And now
totally
the hole in the ground that I had them buried in is completely empty.
No, totally disagree. And I'll tell you why. All you're doing is recruiting people into your liquor army. where I now have the business card of the owner. And so I can call him and ask him if he's got it in yet, and he's going to put some aside for all of us, not just me.
Wow. So anyhow, I went in today and I look up and all I see is mint and fucking cherry, and I'm like, so I'm like, okay, so you don't have any apple pie Dr. McGillicuddy's? Oh, no, I'm supposed to be getting da-da-da-da. I said, okay. I was supposed to get it today. I said, all right. He goes, aren't you part of that trio?
Yeah.
I said, yeah. And he goes,
oh, those two jackasses? Yeah, I know those guys.
He goes, yeah, one of them stopped by last night. We didn't have it and got the root beer. I said, yeah. He goes, the other one came by today and got the other root beer. I said, I'm not even going to look up there. I'm guessing the root beer's gone. Yeah. I'm like, well, lucky for them. I'm not doing shots of root beer. I said, so it can be all them tonight.
Yeah.
He said, yeah. I'm supposed to be getting it soon. I'm like, do you have anything else in this library of liquor that's apple pie? And he's like, I'm like, you know what? Cold bottle of Fireball, please. He's like, oh, okay.
Right.
3,000 bottles in there, and he just starts looking around. I'm like, no, we're not playing this. Where he gets something off the top shelf that's $50 apple pie bourbon or some shit, and then I have to have him put it back because I don't want it anyhow.
It was funny because when I went in there and I asked, he looked up there. He's like, yeah, I think I got some. And he went up. He's like, oh no, he's like, the boss just moved stuff around. He's like, it's just he's like, I got root beer, cherry. I'm like, I'll do the root beer. So as he was coming down, I said, well, yeah, me and my three buddies have kind of been competing to who gets here first to get the apple pie. And he's like, yeah, I've been noticing that the sales of that have been going up a little bit. He's like, oh, I'll be getting some in tomorrow. So unfortunately, that was a lie. But
I told him the first time I was there that when I actually was looking for it, I didn't get it. I'm like, put the order in. You're going to start ordering more of this. Don't just put one bottle in the truck and then think you're going to be good. This is what we want, and we drink every weekend. Oh, okay. But so today he's like, here's my card. I've already, your buddy was already in here yesterday. So I'm like, why don't you just give me a call and I'll let you know. I'm like, perfect. That'll work.
So here's to trying the root beer.
Yeah. Here's to the root beer.
God, good luck.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh.
That's not bad.
No, it's not bad at all.
It'd be really good if you put some cream soda in there.
You could probably do that.
If you put cream soda in the root beer?
It would taste like
a lot of cream soda and you mixed it.
Aren't those two different flavors though?
It would taste like a root beer float.
That's where the mix comes in. If there was only one flavor, you wouldn't really be a mix.
You could drop it into a half a beer and do those are called root beer floats too.
That's called a Boilermaker, isn't it?
No, yeah, Boilermaker's whiskey.
We used to call root beer floats. We take a shot of root beer schnapps, which is usually probably more sugary than that, but I've not tasted that.
Yeah.
And you drop it into a half a glass of light beer and you pound it between the carbonation and everything. It tastes just like root beer.
You know what? I would say if I had one of these and I had one of the cherry and I could alternate the shots in between, it would be great. That's what I really should have done. It's when you get down to like half of the bottle gone and you know exactly what it's going to taste like, where you're like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because it's just not apple pie. So it's not even worth, I guess I'm just going to slug this down, but it might as well be like, cleaning solution for all I care.
You're getting those sarsaparilla burps.
Well, not yet. We'll find out.
The root beer is good though.
It's not bad. It's just about as good as the cherry was on that first shot where you're like, oh, okay, I was expecting it to be disgusting, but it's not.
It didn't taste like cough syrup?
No, I don't think so. No more than Fireball did.
Fireball doesn't taste like cough syrup.
Cinnamon cough syrup.
Fireball.
Oh.
Hey, Joe.
It's like mouthwash.
Cinnamon toothpaste.
Yeah, what kind of mouthwash do you have?
Cinnamon mouthwash. Cinnamon Act.
Joe, last time you were on the podcast, did you get a gentleman's agreement to watch?
Yeah, I did actually.
Did you watch it?
I watched the first episode because it was a 6-parter. I didn't know it was a 6-parter.
What was this you're supposed to watch?
The Grateful Dead one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you watched one part of 6?
I watched the first part because I didn't have Prime, so I went to my parents' house today after I got off work, and I asked my dad. I'm like, Dad, can I put something on TV real quick? He's like, yeah, sure. So I put it on, and it pops up, and Jerry Garcia is the first one. He's like, is this a Grateful Dead thing? I'm like, yeah. He's like, I fucking hate the Grateful Dead. It's like their music sucks and all. I'm like, Dad, this isn't. I'm like, Dad, it's not a concert. It's a documentary.
Well,
so yeah, I watched the first
movie that you made Nick watch wasn't a concert.
Well, it depends on how you look at it. But I watched the whole first episode with my dad. And he's like, I don't get their music, and the music sucks. I'm like, Dad, just relax. I'm like, we'll get through it. Yeah, I liked how in the beginning though, like. I never really got into the Grateful Dead, but I was unaware that Jerry Garcia was more of a, he was a folk singer, but he was like a clean cut folk singer.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they got the band going, that's when the acid and the LSD started coming in, and that's where they got all their shit from. So I want to watch the rest of them because the first one was pretty good. I like when documentaries that show bands from like their origin to when they, actually started going.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is Long Strange Trip on Amazon Prime. And if you're going to do an origin story in a band, I mean, you couldn't do any worse than the Grateful Dead, having been around as long as they have. They're still going in a different form. But.
And my thing is, I never got into the Grateful Dead. I don't hate them. I just never got into them. But they have a few good songs I like. I love Casey Jones. That's a great song.
Mm-hmm.
But I just never got into them. But I'm interested now because this is going to be a 6-part series that'll tell us, more and more about them.
Right.
I'm all for it. I'll do them. I'll hopefully kick them out by the next podcast, and I'll let you know how the rest of them work.
Okay. Yeah, when you're recuperating with your armpit and knee injuries.
Oh, dude! As of right now, my armpits hurt worse than my knee.
What happened to your armpits?
From the crutches. I had them adjusted right, but every once in a while, they hits your armpit
very quickly and hit a bump, and it flew off the crutches.
Yeah, like it was just I had never walked with crutches before, so originally I had them right up into my armpit, and I walked, and I'm like, oh, and my mom's like, don't do that.
End in your armpit, and or did you have the end you were supposed to that's actually padded for your armpit?
I had the padded end.
Oh, okay.
But I thought you were young, taut, and muscular, and Bob was old and flabby, and so were all of us.
No, I am, but I'm not like hurting. It's just uncomfortable. I'm getting bruises and stuff. Doesn't bother me.
Put towels on there. Tape towels onto them.
Well, no, I figured out if you lower the hand part, then they don't actually touch your armpit because you're supposed to have the majority of your weight on your hands and in your arms.
Do you have dusty pits?
No. I don't suffer from dusty anything.
You will after all that. Did you actually see a diagnostician, or did you just purchase crutches or find them somewhere?
No, I bought them at Walgreens. No, hey.
He talked to the clerk at Walgreens. He's like, hey, look at my knee. What do you think? Crutches? Yeah.
No,
crutches.
I just went and got a crutch. Bob, I do have to say I drove past Jets on the way home. Your son was out in the parking lot running food. Did not have a Jet shirt on. He had a long sleeve yellow T-shirt on.
Oh, was he going to be fired?
No, but I'm going to have to give him shit about it. But I have to give him shit very gently because I can't be mean anymore. I have to be very nice.
Well, and you got to be gentle because of your knee.
And gentle.
Right. And your armpits.
Mm-hmm.
Apart from the towels, also remember, take the thumbtacks off of the crutches.
I took those off right when I got them.
Excellent.
Well, you should have a heart-to-heart with Jack now. Put your arm around him, have a fatherly uncle kind of moment, and say, hey, man, I'm so sorry about the shit I gave you about your ankles because my pits are killing me.
You got some dusty pits?
No, I already had to tell him that. I said, Jack, I'll never pick on you again. I said, I won't even talk to you again. I ignore him at the store. So
Was there one?
anybody?
Was there one day you didn't go to the store because of your dusty knee or armpits?
I didn't go Monday because I couldn't walk. I didn't go Tuesday because I couldn't walk. I didn't go Wednesday because I could barely get up to go and pee. I was peeing in water bottles.
And
then,
Hold on. What?
Hold
on. Wait a second. Why were you peeing in water bottles?
Because I didn't have the crutches until Wednesday.
But you have another leg.
I'm not hobbling along on one leg with nothing to support me with.
But you mean apart from the leg?
Yeah, I didn't have a cane. I didn't have anything.
You literally could just hop to the bathroom.
No, I couldn't have hopped it. If I would have, I could have.
Did you hurt both your legs?
No, I hurt my right leg, man. It's fucked up. It hurts like you saw the picture.
No, I get it, but you have two legs. When you hop, you only hop on one leg. The other leg is in the air.
But it would be hard for him to hop with his knee like that because he can't bend his knee.
And I can't put any pressure on my knee.
He's not hopping on the leg with the injured knee. He's hopping on the other leg.
Right, but normally when you hop, you bend your other leg. It's hard to hop and keep your other leg straight.
Was it at least a wide mouth bottle?
Oh yeah, it was a big bottle, definitely. Thank you, Nick. Nick, with my girth, it had to have been a wide mouth bottle.
Just
for the listeners, we're getting several questions about what occurred, why we're discussing Joe's knee.
Well, I can tell you what occurred.
I say, God forbid I do this, but
you turned into Howard Hughes and started peeing in jars.
Hold on. Let me first paint a picture, and then we'll let Joe tell us what actually transpired.
Wait, what picture? You weren't even there.
Hold on.
Okay.
I'm just going to paint a picture, and then we'll let the listeners decide what happened. So, Joe had said to me this past week and to everyone else on Zoom, Joe was telling us, he was starting to tell us how he's going to be riding his bike more. And he also said that he went through a pretty tough construction site at one point and had to walk his bike through. But that was really the only kind of trial and tribulation that he told us about the bike thing. But he said, pretty much no distance is too far. It's no big deal. I'll ride my bike. So, okay. So I was supposed to cut Cory's hair. And what was that, Cory, Saturday night?
No, Sunday night.
Sunday night. So I completely forgot about the holiday. I was supposed to cut Cory's hair. He was just going to come over, and that was going to be it. I guess Tony and I were supposed to hang out the night before, but it ended up being he reached out Sunday and said, hey, is Cory still coming over? Is this like a drinking event, or are you just cutting his hair and he's going home? I said, well, last time he poured a shot before even taking his shoes off. So I said, I have reason to believe we're going to be drinking. So we had involved Bob, and Bob said, yeah, I'll probably go. And on the day of, Bob reached out and Tony picked up Bob. So I sent Joe a text. And I had asked Joe before, well, you can't ride your bike everywhere. He said, why not? I said, well, what if you're drinking? Oh man, if you would have known me back in the day, I've driven my bike drunk so many times.
I don't think I said that, but okay.
That's what you told me.
Right, Nick.
Why would I make that up? And
because you're making it up.
Okay. Well,
you let him make up shit about your girthy bottle, but you won't let him make up shit about how much you drove drunk on the bike. Come on.
Go ahead. Finish.
No, you told me when we were Zooming, I said, what about when you're drinking? And you were like, oh man, I used to drive my bike everywhere. I get fucked up. It doesn't matter. I can still drive a bike. I said, okay. So that night, being the good friend I am, reached out to Joe, see if he wanted to come over. He said, yeah, I'll be driving my bike. Joe was the last person at my house. I offered him to stay here. I could drive him home later. He said, no, I'll be fine. The rest is history, apparently. So I don't know when that happened, how it happened, but that was the premise.
So was it on your way home from Nick's, or was it later on in the day?
No, it was later the next day. I told him that I was driving to my parents' house on Monday for a barbecue. Super early in the morning, but I went to my house. I slept for a little bit. I got up, still dark out, got on my bike, and I drove down Park Street to Military and took Military to my parents' house. And Military's all jacked. They tore it all up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, I got a mountain bike, whatever. And I started riding on it, and it was still concrete, but it was all, stone and loose dirt and shit like that. So I crossed over Cherry Hill, and I'm flying down Military towards the country club. And I'm going really fast. Like I was up off the seat, and I was really going like crazy. But then Military, right by the country club entrance, it goes up and then it goes to the right, like a big sweeping, So I was going real fast, and right when I hit that hill, I started pedaling up, and right when I got to the top of the hill is when I kind of stood up on my bike and then took the turn. And right when I took that turn, my bike kicked out right from under me, and I slammed into the curb with my foot, and then either hyperextended my knee or done something. I hit the ground, and I thought I broke my ankle. I was like, oh, fuck. So I rolled onto the grass, left my bike in the street, and then I kind of looking everything over. My ankle would move, my knee would move up and down, but I had screaming pains in my knee. So after like 5 minutes of moaning and groaning, I stood up slowly on my left leg. I picked up my bike, and then I drooped myself. I had my right arm on my seat next to the bike. I had my left arm on my handlebars. And I was like, it looked like I was barfing over my bike. And then I slowly walked from the entrance of the country club to my parents' house, which took me like 40 minutes, and it's a quarter mile away.
So after your parents' house, is that when you went to Walgreens to get checked out by the Walgreens doctor?
No, I never went to the doctor.
Sorry, the guy who prescribed the crutches to you?
No, this was on Tuesday. I went and got crutches.
Okay.
He peed and indicated in the bottles for 2 days.
No, I
he came to the conclusion that he could buy crutches.
No, I didn't
You have to poop for 2 days?
No. I had to pee, so I peed into a big bottle.
How do you not have a BM for 2 days? Well, you probably couldn't get up to get food, so.
Nick, from Monday to Wednesday, I didn't eat one thing. I drank water, and that's about it. Coffee.
I was wondering, you looked a little emaciated, so I was.
I haven't eaten much in like the last 4 days, so.
They say feed a cold, starve a fucked up knee. So
That's what I was gonna say. So your knee's messed up, so that affects your stomach. How?
He can't get up without the crutches.
I couldn't get up to eat.
So
And he knows if he eats, he's going to have to get up more to poop based on what he eats. So
And
that's
if-
a lot of trips he can't do, Cory.
And if I drink a whole big jug of water, I have to drink the whole thing, and then I have to pee into the thing that I just drank.
oh god.
Did you ever mix up the jugs?
No, they were clearly marked. Clearly marked.
They were all Mountain Dew.
One was marked urine,
Well,
and the other one was marked unsweet iced tea.
I didn't mark them originally. I had to sip out of both, and I took a sip, and I'm like, that's a pee. And then I put a big pee on it.
Hold on. The tip of this
think
jug
that's
tastes like my penis.
Iced tea or pee. No, but dude, I threw out my back a few years ago.
No.
I threw out my back a few years ago. That was number 1 pain. This was number 2 pain. Like when I was walking home, hunched over my bike, all I could see was like, when you close your eyes and you rub them, you get those stars. That's all I saw the whole ride or the whole walk home.
Yeah, you saw spots.
Yeah.
Rub your eyes.
And then I tell you, and Nick's like, why didn't you call me? I'm like, what are you going to come and do?
Pick you up?
Hi. I walked home. I'm fine.
Yeah.
Joy, hold on, but the
Somebody's fine doesn't text us pictures of their knee and complain about it for half of a podcast.
I didn't complain. I just said that I hurt my knee.
You're not fine.
Joe, you said in a text and nobody stopped to help me.
That's true.
But but you don't want your friend to help you. You would want you made it sound like that you wanted strangers to help you, but a friend, why would you come help me?
He was upset that strangers didn't help.
But a friend wanted to help him. He didn't want it.
Bastards walked right past
walking home in the situation that I looked like, you think somebody would have stopped. A few cars passed me.
So if I would have reached out, you would have said, no, why would I need you? I'll take myself home. But if a stranger would have stopped, you would have been happy.
But I didn't want to call you guys to inconvenience you.
Inconvenience?
That's what friends are for. Friends don't mind being inconvenienced. Strangers hate to be inconvenienced.
Joe, one of the only times in my life we were so excited to leave work, and Cory and I left work, and I drove like a block out of the parking lot, and for whatever reason, trust me, I curse people for doing this because I'm like, you have to be a complete moron if this ever happens to you. I had no idea and was out of gas, and I ran out of gas on like Fairlane Drive going on to Southfield Freeway. And I immediately called Cory.
I remember this.
Yeah, I immediately called Cory, and I was so paranoid and like pissed at myself that I was inconveniencing him, and he thought it was the funniest thing in the world. He's like, why would you not call me? I'm like, why would I? He's like, because you ran out of gas. He's like, we're both leaving work. He's like, it doesn't matter. Why wouldn't I? And it kind of clicked then. I'm like, oh, yeah. Yes. Then I started hearing that song, with Dionne Warwick, that's what friends are for.
Well, I really don't like any of you that much, so.
We are aware.
This is no different than, hey, can you pick me up on the way over to Nick's? You'd be like, oh, I don't know any qualms in asking you about that. And you were always like, sure.
It is a little different. There would have been.
You pick me up, I just smashed my bike in front of the country club. I'm like, oh, sure. Where do you need me to go? Maybe I could take you to a doctor.
Exactly.
No, see, that's what I didn't. No, Joe, you're going to the hospital. No, I'm not. Take me the fuck home. I'll be all right.
Okay, so then cool. Then call me next time because we're definitely not. I'm not taking you to the hospital.
Guidos don't go to the hospital.
And we're not picking your bike up. So there you go. We'll be all set.
So why would I call you?
But Cory, what if he had the bike crash fever?
Well, then in that case, nope, straight home for Joe.
I'm a big boy.
So if you
I can get my ass
go to the doctor, but I'll pick your bike up. If you call Cory, you don't have to go to the doctor, but you lost.
Hey, I stood up and I was able to walk slowly, and I got myself home. Why would I inconvenience any of you?
You were incapable of walking to the bathroom and had to pee in wide mouth jars.
That was the next day. But when I got home, I got upstairs. I could walk up the stairs. I took my clothes off. I laid in bed after I took a nap. I woke up and I was like, whoa, not good.
Maybe I should have gone to the doctor.
Nah, don't do doctor.
Now I'm in
oh my
pain.
God. Wait a minute. Let me say something. This is exactly what the human body is designed to do. It heals itself. Now, had I torn or fucked up my ACL to where I couldn't walk and my knee was just blown out, I would have went to the doctor. Same thing with COVID.
You might
let it happen and
is it the
fucking
same?
deal with it. It's a goddamn same.
You might have a hairline fracture, and you might be one of those old guys that's like, yep, it's gonna rain today because my knee is really fucking killing me.
I'll take care of that in the future. I'm not too worried about it.
I foresee this going really well every time.
I'm just concerned. Thankfully, he didn't call us any time after he went home because it sounds like,
oh God.
It sounds like after taking his clothes off when he got home and being in bed peeing in jars for 2 days, that probably would have been a sight to see and smell going into that room.
On the couch and
One day,
all the jars. I need somebody to come over.
I accidentally grabbed a bottle to brace my fall, and urine went all over me.
Had to pee in a bottle one day because then I got the crutches on Tuesday.
Oh God, my eyes and my knee. Cory, you gotta come over, man.
Oh my God.
I pee all over me, Cory.
That I will not help.
Cory, I can't reach my clothes. Just pick me up, man.
Oh, let me ask this.
Massage my armpits.
Let me ask this. Say I crashed right down the street from my house. I got myself back into my house and into my chair, and I was like that. And then it was in the middle of the night, and I'm laying there. I got all my clothes off. My knees swelling up like crazy.
Why are your clothes off?
So you can stop right there. If your clothes are off, you're on your.
I'm
Joe,
not naked.
Joe,
I'm not naked.
You lost me at you're at your house. That's all I care about. If you're at your house, then whatever happens past that, that's on you.
No, but what if I like ended up peeing all over myself and stuff? Would you guys come over and help clean me up?
No.
Then fuck you. You're not friends. Fuck all of you.
Clean you up? Why are you peeing all over yourself?
If I'm immobile and I
problem.
cannot get up to go to the bathroom and I had an accident, none of you would come over and help me clean myself up.
You're not paraplegic. That's not an accident.
If
you knew that you had to pee and you peed on yourself.
If I have 2 broken legs, for instance, and I'm stuck in my chair, and I'm peeing in a bottle, and the bottle spills all over myself, and I keep peeing on myself, none of you would come over and help me clean myself up?
Why wouldn't you stop peeing?
Because you can't sometimes.
Yeah,
You're so full of pee.
Okay, if you had if you had 2 broken legs and you legitimately could not, then absolutely. But if you refuse to go to the doctor and then you have some problem, I'd be like, no, you should have gone to the fucking doctor.
Well, fuck you. You're not friends then.
Joe, I would come over with a smile on my face and an easy cath in the other hand.
Time to clean up, Joe.
Yep. All right, Joe, let's just put some of this jelly on the end of this. No, man, I'll clean myself up, I promise.
Gotta wheel me in. We'll have the nurse take the catheter out of me.
All right, guys, we need to take a break.
Yeah, please.
We're at an hour 21 minutes.
So, all right, we're gonna take a break. We'll come back in 10 minutes or so. We'll see you on the other side. And I think we were yelling into the microphone. Am I the only one who's ready to do another shot here?
I'm ready, sir.
All right,
I have to drink out of my slim brewmate because I bought the wrong one.
What do you got in that slim brewmate?
As long as you're not drinking out of
the St. Archer's.
I don't know what that means.
Never heard of it.
It's good. Miller makes it. It's low calorie. It's good stuff.
Sparkling water.
All right, we need to hurry up and get this down because I just have a request that came across.
Okay.
Here we go. Do this, and I'm going to pee.
Let me run this past you guys real quick before I send them the link. Jeff Adkins would like to join us from DPX.
Fuck Jeff.
Is he back from vacation? I heard they were.
Or he's on vacation and wants to join. So
sure.
Remember that one time DPX went down the tubes? What was that? Oh, Jeff was wasted on the beach, and he offered to join on the Schnozzcast, and it was on the internet for the rest of infamy.
After that, lost all their TV contracts.
Jeff, stand by, sir. I'm about to send you the link.
All right. So if everybody wants to take a quick note here, as far as gentleman's agreement, here's what we got. I have got Nick. Cory has Joe. Nick has me. And Joe has Cory. So start thinking about that, and we can get that assignment done before we wrap this whole episode up.
Yeah, sure.
All right. So So Fleabag season 2 is out then, Nick?
You pick whatever you want, Bob.
I wouldn't do that to you, buddy. I appreciate you getting through 3 whole 30-minute episodes. What do you think the odds are that Cory's going to continue watching Lost?
I think he'll go back to it.
Yeah? You think so?
Cory's an inquisitive man by nature, and as we know, he needs some finesse. He needs some coming around things. He, as we've discussed before, Cory can't be recommended something that's awesome and just get on board with it. He has to kind of come around on his own times and kind of figure that, well, you're right. I didn't like it for the reasons you said I was going to like it, but I ended up liking it because of all the parallels with the dude thing. Something like that's going to bring it full circle. And he's got to do it on his own time. But someone telling him to do it, especially a friend, which normally people would be like, oh, yeah, a recommendation from a friend.
Those same friends who send him pictures of food and he shits all over you for having the food that he wanted to eat.
Exactly. The whole brewmate thing. No, I was the first one to buy that for Danielle. You didn't recommend me shit. He doesn't like the idea that anyone's spoon feeding him anything,
right.
So I think he'll come back around.
Okay. Joe, put your...
There's a possibility. Like I said, I'm waiting to see where the whole sci-fi turn goes, because there has to be a point where it takes a sci-fi turn.
Let me just say this to you, Cory. If you can get on board with the fact that the crux of this series is that they're going to pose many questions about what does that mean? What is that? So every episode you watch, they might pose a new, 3 new questions where you're like, holy shit, I got 3 questions. I want to know what the answers are. In that episode, they'll probably answer 1.
Of course.
So you're going to get a ratio of, it's not necessarily going to be like we posed 3 questions last episode. This episode, we're going to answer all 3 of those. So as long as you don't expect that the next episode you're going to get answers to the questions you had from the episode you just watched, you'll be okay. And it's more about the journey and the story and really the characters than anything else. Hey Joe, we just did a quick Excel code math for gentleman's agreement. So you drew Cory.
Okay.
So at some point, so start thinking about that at some point before we end the podcast.
I already got one.
Oh, okay. Well, while we're waiting for Jeff Adkins, why don't you go ahead? Tell Cory what he's got to watch.
Cory, you need to watch Mother Goose Rock and Rhyme.
What?
Okay.
Hold on. Can you, first of all, where can he find this and what the fuck is it?
It's Shelley Duvall did this fairy tale theater back in like the 80s.
It's on Nick Jr.
No. You'll find this very, very amusing.
Where is it?
Sounds like it.
It's on. You can find it on Hulu, I believe, or on Netflix.
Oh wow.
It's a fairy tale setting, but everybody is in it. ZZ Top is in it. Little Richard's in it. Katie Seagal from Married with Children's in it. Howie Mandel. They have tons of people in it, and they all play different characters. Howie Mandel's Humpty Dumpty. It's very amusing. It's not child stuff. It's a fun story.
Okay. Cory, you got to be excited about that. I mean,
you'll like it.
I'm so excited. What's the name of it again?
Mother Goose, Rock, and Rhyme. You'll like it. You'll like it.
I love it. I love it. Nick, you drew me. Do you have any idea yet? Or are you going to think about it some more?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, go ahead.
You have to watch episodes 1 and 2 of The Rain.
The Rain?
The Rain.
On Netflix?
Yep.
All right. Got it. Cory, I know you're trying to get Jeff on.
Yeah, I can try to multitask here.
Okay.
No.
You drew
That
Joe.
always works out good.
You guys drew each other. So since you already know what Joe gave you, you really should give some thought into this. So if you want to take your time.
But I'm not giving you shitty stuff. You'll enjoy that movie.
Well, see, that's what I thought about Fleabag when I gave it to Nick, but not everybody likes what you like.
True.
But also, Joe will watch 15 minutes of it and turn it off. So
that is true. All right, so Cory, do you want to give it some thought, or do you already know what you want to give him?
No, for Joe's gentleman's agreement, you have to watch. So what was as far as lengths for episodes?
We're general movie length, so roughly 2 hours. So like for Nick was going to watch Fleabag, there were 30-minute episodes, so I said 4 episodes. He made it through 3.
So Joe, you have 4 episodes of Comic Book Men.
I've seen that with Kevin Smith.
Yeah, we talked about it a few weeks ago.
I've watched that.
You have, okay, well then you have I believe 2 episodes. I want to say they're 40-minute episodes, so we'll have to round it off. Of Destination Fear. That is with a amateur filmmaker named Dakota Layden, who's a paranormal investigator. So if we could get Jeff on here, this would really be a good time for him to join. But we can always come back to that if he's able to get on.
Right.
Destination Fear, 2 episodes. Okay.
Yes.
Where is that a Netflix, Cory?
No, the Travel Channel app. You can just download it and watch it on there.
Oh, for free? Does that pay for it? Is it free?
Yeah, it's free.
I hate anyone who watches or has been on the Travel Channel.
Hello, Jeff Adkins. All right, so let's just finish this up then. Nick, you got to go out of Netflix and watch. I think they're an hour, so I think there's only 3 episodes, but you only really have to watch the first 2. Middleditch and Schwartz.
Oh, that's easy to remember.
Yeah, I mean it rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, Senate Benner, Raman, Oppenheim, and Taft. It's just like that.
What was the Three Stooges law firm? Or Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe? Yeah, Middleditch and Schwartz. It's I talked about it. I think if it wasn't last week, it was the week before. It's 2 guys doing a live hour-long improv.
Okay, yeah, you're probably gonna want to text me that.
I will do that. But it is nothing like Fleabag, so I think you'll be like, oh, finally, guys with. It's guys not talking about periods, and they're actually using the American accents. I can get into that. All right. So, sorry, Cory, can we expect him to join anytime soon, or should we keep going?
Oh, we can keep going. We can always circle back to that.
He said, give me 10 minutes, Cory.
Oh, for God's sake, 10 minutes.
Actually, Cory, it's on YouTube. Mother Goose Rock and Rhyme, so it's free.
Groose.
Mother Goose.
Mother Grouse.
Every time I go hunting or fishing, I'm always grousing about the grouse or carping about the carp.
Wow.
Well played, sir.
There we go. Well, everyone, as another very special guest to introduce, we have Mr. Jeff Adkins from DPX again. So let me bring him into the room here.
You know, he's a real person, Cory.
I was going to say you're making him sit out there while we talk about him. But yeah, it's been a little while since we've been in the presence of DPX greatness.
Hey, here I am.
Are you able to get your video working, Jeff?
I think so. Here, 1 second.
Yeah, we can hear you.
There we go.
Hey, there we go. Hey,
Jeff Adkins, everyone.
How are you?
What's up?
You're looking well rested, sir.
I am I'm okay. I'm all right.
Just okay?
Yeah. We've been quarantined hardcore, so I've been fishing, drinking beers.
Nice.
There you go.
Right up our alley.
Yeah. How are you guys?
Doing well. We actually, I think, just as a group, just finally got out of the house to do a social distancing gathering last weekend for Memorial Day.
Cool.
First time
Awesome.
in 70 days. So
Awesome. Yeah, it's really hard staying home and obeying the rules, and it gets rough, not having contact with friends and family and all that kind of stuff. It's not easy.
yeah, no, especially after you then have way too much contact with them, and now you're like, Jesus, it's already been 50 days, and there's no end in sight. Joe,
Right? Yeah.
Who is this clown?
Jesus, Joe. So Joseph Guido, this is Jeff Adkins from Detroit Paranormal Expeditions. He was on one of our very highly rated episodes earlier, in which he and his partner sat down and gave us the whole ball of wax for what it's like.
Yeah, Todd and I like talking about what we do, and appreciative for you guys having us on, and always a good time.
I remember that episode because that was the one they booted me off of, so you guys could be on.
That is the one. Best decision.
I was saying one of the greatest decisions ever.
I think there's a strong parallel between Joe not being on the podcast and Jeff and Todd being on the podcast. and the reason why we got so many likes on that one, I'm not sure.
I'm just kidding.
Mystery to everyone.
All you got to do is say, Joe, look at the downloads. My episode versus every other one that you're on.
No, statistics are statistics. I don't give a shit.
Okay.
Jeff.
Hey,
Nice
I'm just glad that I'm here with you guys, because it was hard enough to get on this. Quickly, several links, and it was like a difficult time to get in. So I'm just
thank
Jeff,
Cory
are you
for
using
that.
Android?
No, I got an iPhone.
How did you not just click
Son
on the link
of
and
a bitch.
No, I tried clicking the link, man. I clicked the link, it went nowhere.
He said he's been fishing and drinking beer. Those two things don't lend themselves well to then operate.
I don't want the beer drinking to be like blamed for this, because that's not what it is.
No, I blame Cory. He does make things way more difficult than they have to be. So
I sent him the same link I sent you guys, but we got it figured out, and that's what matters.
No, Jeff, I was just kidding. It's nice to meet you.
I forgive you. Nice to meet you too.
Hold on, it's early. You may want to hold on to that for a bit.
So
No, I'll be nice. I'll be nice.
So Jeff,
That's okay.
now that we got you on, we just did our gentleman's agreement where we each recommend a movie or a show of some sort to each other. And for Joe, I picked Destination Fear. He's got to watch 2 episodes of it. And I was hoping you were going to be on so you could potentially give your insight a little bit on Destination Fear, if you
Sure.
so be willing so.
Yeah. Destination Fear was great. Cool working with those guys, Dakota Layden and his sister and that whole team. And, they went to Eloise and had their own experiences. And it was awesome just having those guys out here and talking to them and talking about like their experiences and what they believe paranormally. And I think if you watch the episode, you will get a take for yourself and kind of like what they believe and kind of like where they are. And it was good. It was a good episode.
Actually, I'm glad you brought that up, because that's what I'll have Joe do when he comes back on here. Is actually to watch the one specific episode. He has to watch the Eloise episode.
Yeah. You do.
And because that as a matter of fact, and that's how Danielle and I even got onto Destination Fear, was after going on some of the tours with you guys, and then seeing it pop up that they were going to Eloise. And I know you guys
and they were
some stuff about it.
And they were excited about that. Like if I can offer a little bit more background for you guys for your show and stuff like that, like Dakota and the team were like, everybody from travel was really stoked about like going to Eloise, because as you guys know, like Eloise has been off limits for a long time. So like publicly on TV shows, you haven't seen it. like it's not been on a lot of TV shows. So when those guys knew that they could do their show there, they were really stoked about it because they were one of the first ones to do it.
That's a very good point. I didn't even think about that. That was one of the first camera crews to actually go.
They were one of the first. They were one of the first TV shows ever to be in there, and they were really stoked about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That is a huge point. I did not even think of.
Yeah.
Hey Jeff.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't listening to any of that.
Jeff, do you have apart from the one that you guys were on? Do you have any other favorite episodes of Destination Fear you could recommend?
You know, I think they're all really good, and like they went to a lot of great locations, and if you watch Chelsea and if you watch Dakota and everybody else on the team, like their reactions are authentic. That's the greatest thing about that show. Everything's really, really authentic. So I don't necessarily have like a favorite because I love Eloise so much, and you know I'm not gonna pick one aside from that. But those guys all were reacting authentically, and that's the cool thing about that show, I think.
So Joe, while you were not in the room or not paying attention, whatever you were doing,
I was listening.
Okay, so the one of the episodes you have to watch from Destination Fear is specifically the Eloise episode.
All right. The one down at Michigan and Henry Ruff area?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what. So Jeff was with the group that when we went to go take a walkthrough of Eloise, DPX was the ones that put it on. So we
were the first team in there. So back in August of 2018, that's when it all started. That was prior to that, Eloise was always this closed off thing. Nobody could ever go, you know. And we met the guy who owned Eloise and it allowed us inside, and we investigated and had the first night we were in there, if I'm going to be honest, it was like super, super active. And man, there's so much I could say about it. But like the first day that we were in there, I mean, like disembodied voices. I mean, like it was crazy in Eloise the first time. I'm talking about August of 2018, and then it became tours after that, and then it blew up, it exploded, and then the next thing I know, we did like I think we took 400,000 people through there. But
wow,
you know.
So when you're walking through Eloise with your team, and you first start videotaping everything, and you're going in, and you hear like something move or something, a creak or any kind of noise, do you automatically think that that's a spirit?
No, because when this was happening, mind you, so you're talking about late 2018. By the time that this has happened, I've already been doing paranormal things for about 9 years. So I've done a lot of paranormal stuff. So not everything to me is paranormal. I do a lot of debunking. A lot of things that I experience, I write off. You know, I don't even show anybody. But the unique thing about Eloise is that the experiences that I had and that first night, I'm talking about late August of 2018, when I had about, 8 years of experience, I guess, doing this. Walking through this place, listen, I'm telling you, man, I had a few really, really profound experiences the first time. When I walked through this hallway towards the third floor stairwell, to my left side, there's a back room that used to have a bathtub. The bathtub was for hydrotherapy. Now, the tub was removed from 2, 3, 4, but on 5, it's still there. The 5th floor still has that tub, but it was in the same spot in each floor. When I got to the 3rd floor, I'm walking by this room that had the tub in it. It wasn't even mistakable, man. When I was walking towards the stairs, there was this woman's voice, like in the back of this room, back where this tub was, just babbling, like no audible words, just totally babbling, just gibberish in the back of this room. But it was loud and it was audible. I heard that with my ear when I walked by, and I walked back into that room. I said, hello, and I said, is someone back here? And I turned the corner, nobody was there. And that was one example of a lot of times in that first night that we were there, because the first night that we were there is when the activity was the highest. I mean, we have been there lots of times. I mean, like Todd and I consider Eloise almost like a second home. I spent probably, honestly, thousands of hours in that place, cleaning it or walking through it or investigating it. Todd, the same thing. And the first night we were there, the activity was the highest, for sure.
Wait, you spent time cleaning it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that on the episode we had them on.
Yeah.
They actually had to go through themselves. And
we took dumpsters of things out of that place, man. I mean, like the first tours, you can't even imagine what it was like getting that place into shape for the first tours. And I don't mean that disrespectfully at all, but here's what I mean by that. So like, oh man, all right. So late August 2018, right? We meet this guy that owns Eloise. Lets us inside. We investigate, live stream it. Everybody loves it. Everything's great. He says, let's do tours here. We say, hell yeah, let's do tours here. But here's the thing. You're talking about late August 2018. You got the last about week of August, and then September, and you're into October of 2018. So we had about 5 weeks to really make this thing happen. Well, here's the thing about Eloise. The first time we were in there, it was a wreck. It was a total wreck. There was trash through all the hallways. You couldn't walk down them. The rooms were a mess. Everything was just a complete disaster. So we had to spend countless hours cleaning these hallways out to make it happen. And we did.
Wow.
And we did. And it was more hours than I can even explain to you right now, man. I mean, like, I probably spent, and I'm not exaggerating, before the tour started, I'm talking about late 2018, before the tour started, I bet I spent 60 hours, 60, cleaning out hallways. Make them walkable.
No one ever sees that side of paranormal expeditions when you have to take care of the cleanup and all that and all the work you guys have to put in just to be able to go into a location and actually investigate it.
Exactly. And like, I love history. So does Todd. So does everybody on our team. We want to always preserve history. And part of it was a labor of love because we worked our ass off in that place to let people into it. So like we had to clean a bunch of hallways out, and we did. But the thing is like, I'm from Westland. Eloise is in Westland. I know a lot of people want to go inside of Eloise who've never been inside of Eloise. So I'm cleaning hallways out, but I know that like when I'm doing that, as much work as it's very labor intensive, as hard as that is to clean that stuff out, like I am allowing people when tours happen to see this place inside that I've always wanted to see, that they've always wanted to see. And that's what we did.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and that is pretty cool, especially being from that area and growing up and knowing what was there and what is there. Yeah, for you to be able to have the hand in allowing people to take tours of it and be able to walk through it, I'm sure that was probably a little bit of a motivator through all that to kind of push you guys along even a little bit more.
It was symbolic. It was definitely I'm not sure symbolic is the right word, but it was a motivator for me. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Again,
kind of like a catalyst.
Yeah.
So Jeff, if the four of us wanted to go on this tour, you could take us on this tour, correct?
I mean, we were the first in the building. We were the first to do tours there. We sold them out time to time because of lots of reasons. We have chosen to go in a different direction now. We're not associated with Eloise right now. So the guy you want to talk to is John Hambrick. He owns the building. We're not working with him currently. So you'd have to find out.
But you can't take us in any paranormal building or no?
At Eloise specifically?
No, any paranormal building.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we can take you to haunted places. Yeah, we got places we go to that are haunted all the time. But if you don't go to Eloise, that's a different story.
No, but I'm talking not even Eloise. Me, Nick, Cory, and Bob, and you.
To a haunted place?
To a haunted place.
Yeah, absolutely.
No pre-production, no help. Nobody inside
Absolutely.
before we come in.
I've got places.
I don't want your people.
I don't want your radar.
No, wait.
I've got places on my radar that we haven't even been.
No, let him finish.
I don't want your people going in there pre-production and they're hidden and start tapping on this and doing this and like, oh wow, it's a spirit.
Joe, first of all, there was no pre-production besides them cleaning up. There was just their team there getting everyone in the building, making sure everyone was safe. It's not like your Halloween haunted house.
No.
Where they have people set up. No, it was just you go through, and if you experience something, you experience something. If you don't, you don't. It's about going to see the location.
You're right.
Jeff, have you ever gone to the Royal Oak area of Dearborn where Henry Ford?
What is the Royal
Oak area of Dearborn?
What is that?
Sorry, say that again, Joe. Joe, go ahead and say that again.
So I'm assuming Joe's referring to like downtown Dearborn, because Royal Oak is Royal Oak, Dearborn is Dearborn. I don't know what
the Royal Oak area of Dearborn.
I don't know the question.
I don't know that one.
All right, so
are we done?
Yeah.
Are we done laughing?
No, maybe not. Are you done asking?
You go down Ann Arbor Trail, right? Towards Warren. I'm sorry, River Oaks. I said Royal Oak. River Oaks. And that's where Henry Ford apparently built his mistress.
Estate?
Huh?
His estate?
No, not his estate. He built his mistress a house way back into the River Oaks woods. And it's been found, and I know where it is.
Yeah,
so we should go.
Everyone in the city of Dearborn knows where that's at.
Well, there we go. Why don't we go look at that? I want to see the spooks and spirits.
Is that something, Jeff, that you're aware of? Has anybody been out to that place?
No, it's actually not. I'm not aware of that. I would go if you want to go. Sounds interesting, but I've not been there.
You're going to be the guide, and you're going to take all four of us, and we're going to podcast from there.
I think that's a way of asking you, not necessarily telling you.
Joe, Jeff doesn't have like a pass to any property in the state of Michigan just because it may or may not be haunted.
You don't need a pass.
I would like that.
You don't need a pass to go into that house.
So I know what he's referring to. We've been out there a couple times. So you go down this basically it's a dead end street, and one of Henry Ford's houses was at the end of this dead end street that's currently occupied by a family. You have to go past that, and there's a good amount of woods that you go into, and there's an old train tracks, an old train station that are back there. It's basically just the foundation and chimney. The last time I was there, that's left from the train station, but there's like a little miniature house out there, and as legend has it, that was Henry Ford's mistress's house, that he had a tunnel built from his estate to this tiny house out in the woods that he could take and go see her when he pleased.
Was the tunnel ever found?
No, and that's one of the things I think that is a myth and just an old legend about the tunnel. But the house itself is there, and there's not much history on the house. So I would be interested to see if you were able to come up with something on that, because like I said, there's really nothing much out there about it for what people have dug into and tried to find. And the very weird thing about the house, it's very miniaturized. It's not like a normal house that you like.
It's small.
Yeah, you just walk in freely. Like the sink is very tiny. There's a stairwell that you can go up to a bedroom upstairs. And I mean, when you're walking up the stairwell, I mean, you're shoulder to shoulder with the walls going up the stairwell.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, it is creepy being out there during the day.
I can imagine that that's weird, and obviously we would probably have to dig into why that's there, property records, address, if it's got one. Like we have to look into like what this place is all about. But you got to wonder, you know, if you're Henry Ford, right? You're Henry Ford. You got tons of money. You got a girl that you're banging on the side. Are you gonna build her a house out there? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
are you gonna build her a house out on some property and you're gonna go there to her, or are you gonna bring her to you discreetly? I think it would be the latter. I mean, I don't know, but I'm just saying, like, if you're Henry Ford, you get that kind of money. I'm not sure that even makes sense to build a house for some girl out there.
No, and right, yeah. When you have that kind of, when you have Henry Ford money, and
yeah,
I mean that
why are
makes
you
sense.
going to her versus bringing her to you?
Right, and I think that might be part of the, you know, the urban legend of it. But I mean, I do think it would be, you know, very interesting if there is any sort of record or
yeah, it'd be cool to research and see what we could find.
And I mean, and it's obviously out, you know, like I said, it's in a very weird location. I mean, if you guys were to go out and see it and actually view it, I think you guys would be like, what? Yeah, why is this here? We can't.
I'd be curious to go.
This.
Yeah, I would like to see it. Yeah, for sure, absolutely.
So
it might have been a baller move back in the day, back in Henry Ford's day, too. Like, I could bring her out here when my wife's not around and sneak her upstairs, but let me just build her in a secluded house off in the woods. And that's sort of like my little bat cave where I'm gonna keep her there, and I'll just show up if I feel like it.
You've got to kind of wonder, and you make a good point. Like, my point is that, like, you've got so much money, why not bring her to you? Your point is, like, you've got so much money, why not make a secret place and I'll go hang out with you there?
Right.
They're both good points. Like, you nor I have enough money to understand like what makes more sense. You know, we don't have Henry Ford money, but you know, we're talking about like the late 1930s, you know, at this point.
Yeah.
And like, who knows like where his mind was at that time. And that could totally be what that house was for. I'm not dispelling that at all. I'm just saying that like, practically, you know, minimal effort, like what would he do? you know?
I think that's the most fascinating part about your job is if you were to talk to Todd, let's say, and you guys both agreed like, oh, that's something we should explore. Then you do research, property records, as you said, history of the place, whether or not it's, you know, like, oh, this looks like it might be a really good opportunity. Then talk to the owners of the property, the Henry Ford estate themselves, and what sort of paperwork you're required to, you know, get permission to walk through it or spend the night or whatever. That's working up to the part where you get to go there and spend the night. To me, is the digging into the real history of it. And I'm a big history buff, so that really excites me. That's something that you would get to do.
So was this excuse me, was this house supposedly on his property or his estate?
That is something I would have to, again, we'd have to look into, because I don't know like where it's at. It is one of his houses that you have to basically kind of walk past in order to get in the woods. But it's not actually on, and it's really not anywhere near his actual estate, like where the museum where people go and visit and all that.
I mean, how far are we talking?
Maybe 2 miles. So that's another thing that kind of always led me to believe that there's no way there's a tunnel that they made for, 2 miles for them to, walk under and all that. But I mean, like I said, it is documented, and it's historical fact that the house that this is out behind, it was one of Henry Ford's actual houses.
Yeah.
So I mean, and Jeff,
how close was it to that house that he owned?
Maybe a football field's away. 100 yards, 150 yards.
That, I mean, when people that had a lot of money, that was common to have a guest house on the outer banks of the property.
Well,
so,
and that could easily be it. Like I said, it seems like even if that's the case, it wasn't well documented. So if there would be a document out there to confirm that alone would be awesome.
That quiet though, like if you think about it, like Henry Ford, especially for back then, had stupid money. Like he had like Elon Musk money, like back then. Like he had cash, and back then records weren't really well. So if he wanted to build a cabin on the backside of his property and keep a woman back there, you know, and I'm just playing devil's advocate. I'm not saying he did or didn't, but like if he wanted to, he had the means. He could do that, you know.
There's no way to say that without making it sound creepy. There's just
keep a woman back there.
But, I mean, like, let's be honest. Henry Ford was not a saint. Like, he's anti-Semite. There's a lot of records around that. But being an anti-Semite, like, he was not some picturesque husband, wife, business owner. Like, I'm a perfect person. Like, he had his flaws, you know. Who's to say he wasn't cheating on his wife? No one knows.
That's why we have so many Arabs in the city of Dearborn.
All right, one more comment like that, Joe, and we're done.
No, why? That's a legitimate comment.
No, what I'm saying though is, you know, if he had that much money in different houses, you know, just meet her up at one of your other houses. Why need the tunnel?
But what if that cabin and the back of the property was his spot? What if he brought girls to there?
That's what that would make sense to me, but the tunnel doesn't make sense. You know, that it sounds like a guest house, and that's just where he went with chicks. You know, if it was like on his property where he shouldn't be seen going from his property to this guest house back and forth, and it was a football field's length, then yeah, that would make sense. But if it's not his main property, why need the tunnel? You know, just, hey, yeah, meet me at my, you know, East Dearborn property. You know, I'll see you over there.
Right.
Hey, Jeff, in this social distancing time, have you and Tom managed to be able to do anything online? You know, obviously other than our podcast, but, you know, not being able to go into places or not being able to get together, has that stopped you guys from pretty much operating? Or are you finding other ways, other outlets for DPX?
Yeah, we found other ways. So on our team, we've got we're very fortunate to have a very talented psychic medium, Jenny, on our team, and she's done some Facebook Lives with people that follow our page, and she's done some readings with tarot cards, just tarot card readings, and people have liked that a lot. And she's drew some really accurate stuff through those, and you know, it's been one thing that we've done, I guess, when it was like a really limited time. We couldn't go to haunted locations. We couldn't go investigate live at places. We're kind of just figuring out what we can do. And people have liked that a lot, you know. So we've been doing that for the last couple months, and we've got some stuff planned, hopefully the next few months, to go to new spots that we've been planning out. But we'll kind of see how it all goes, you know, with the quarantine.
Okay. Awesome.
So, I'm sorry, Bob, but I know you guys always have a lot on your plate. But fortunately, the one thing Joe did do is bring that little location up. So yeah, I mean, if you guys were ever interested in looking into that, and you know, maybe even just as a fun weekend kind of thing, I would definitely love to help you guys out with that. And
Henry Ford.
Yeah.
What,
you know, even doing research or anything, you know, I obviously showing you guys the area. But yeah, I think that would be, like I said, even if it was just a little side project for you guys to look into. It's definitely a very interesting place that's been around for quite some time, and there's definitely a lot of mystery behind it.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, even if you guys would take a look into it and not necessarily, you know, go anywhere with it, I think that'd be pretty cool.
I'd be down for that. That'd be a good time. I think we'd totally do that. Yeah.
And like I said, and the place is it's honestly small enough that, I mean, a walkthrough would take maybe 10 minutes, if that.
Yeah. If we can get access to it, or you guys can get access to it and let us get in there, I mean, we would love to. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that would definitely be something cool to start looking into. So.
Yeah. I mean, we gotta figure out like what's gonna happen for this latter part of the year. The first part of the year was so shut down. There was no tours, and like there was no live streaming, and we got to figure out like where do we go from here and how do things change? We're not going to have 30, 40 people at an event anymore, probably.
Right.
What does the future look like for the paranormal industry, if you will? I mean, like tours and all that kind of stuff. So we're looking at all that, and obviously the core of everything that we do is just because Todd and I and everybody in DPX likes just going to cool haunted locations. And if I'm just hanging out there with Todd or anybody else on our team, just a few people, that's the very basis of the paranormal world. I mean, that's what people do when they're interested in this kind of stuff. So I guess we're just kind of seeing what happens from this point going forward.
Okay.
I guess that's really all you can do.
Did you guys ever do anything at the South Lion Hotel before it burned down?
No, I wish. Back then, before it burnt down, I was dating a girl in South Lion. I used to be in South Lion all the time. We'd go there for drinks and dinner and stuff like that, and I spent so much time in there with her before it burned down, and I always got weird vibes there all the time. It's like you walked in that building, you felt like vibes. You felt a little bit uncomfortable. You're kind of looking over your shoulder type stuff, and I just wish that we'd investigated it before that happened, and we didn't, unfortunately.
We had talked to some of the wait staff when we were there. I used to live out in Novi, and before it burned down, great place. They had awesome pizza.
Yeah.
But
it's not to cut you off, but it's
no,
so cool. It's cool that they preserved any of it and they brought it back in some fashion, and so it's still there. But nothing can replace the original, as you guys know. History fans, you guys love history. Like, nothing can ever replace the original.
Right.
A lot of it burned down. A lot of it is gone. And some of it is left, and that's great, but it's still not the original.
Right. How the original was constructed and all of the events and the years that have passed since it was there.
People that came through that place, people that you're talking about 100 years ago, people that walked through that place and, saw it as it was and walked through and left their imprint in that place, and now it's different is the thing.
Right. Well, sorry, Nick, did you have something else?
No, there was one place, I'm not sure if you're familiar, but we went up to Shanty Creek with my dad. And there was a restaurant that used to be an old hotel, just like the South Lion Hotel. And there was, this probably was 15 years ago, but I know the place was over 100 years old. And they bought it, and it was husband and wife and their daughter, who was like 16, 17 maybe at the time. And I remember they said it was haunted, and they were like, yeah, that doesn't bother us. And so the daughter was kind of bussing tables and stuff and just told us a lot of the stories about the place, about a woman in white that walks up and down the hallway at nighttime, and there's another ghost that whistles. And she said, with a very white face, she was like, I don't even go in the basement. She's like, I've gone down there too many times. And she's like, that's where we keep some of our stock. She's like, but that feeling when someone's standing behind you, and you turn around and no one's there, and it began with like a C. It was like the Chateau, it was something. I'll have to ask my dad, but I'll get back to you on it. But it really, really cool place, all wood, oak banisters and stuff like that, and I remember she said that the creepiest part for me was that, she was like 16 or 17, and it was a new area. Her parents had just bought the place, and they both ran the restaurant at night but had full-time jobs during the day. So she was like, yeah, I get to come home from school around 2:30 in the afternoon in this house by myself. And I'm like, nope, fuck that. I'm like, no. So I'll have to figure out what the name of it is. I don't know if it's changed hands since, but the first woman in white sighting upstairs going up and down the hallway, that would have been it for me. So
Where was this at?
Up by Shanty Creek Shush Mountain Resort.
Say that 5 times fast.
Now, if I can ask you a question real quick. So, did you say that the earlier people that owned it, the parents, I guess, were more skeptical, right?
Yeah, the parents, they knew about, the rumors that it was haunted, but they just really didn't care.
What a fascinating fact, though, if you look at that. Look at it generationally. Look at, so they're older. So these guys are, older generation. Back then, paranormal stuff wasn't accepted. It was not, people didn't believe in it, even. So, oh, your place is haunted? Not believing it. I don't think that's even true. They always rationalized it off. They didn't believe in it. Oh, ghosts. No, they were very Christian. They were I'm not knocking Christianity, but if you've got that strong Christian faith, you might think that, well, there's not going to be a spirit here if it's not evil. It's not a demon. You know what I mean? That's old school thinking. But it's interesting, though, that these older people had that kind of mindset. And then the younger generation, their kids, had a different mindset and more open to the spiritual aspect, possibly it being haunted. And then here we are today, where we're very, very, very open about having spiritual energy. It's just interesting fascination. If you look at the kind of progression of that,
Do you agree with the concept that you're going to be more well received if you have an open mind?
I think that's a fair theory. I think that in doing this stuff for all the time that I've been doing it, and I'm talking about almost a decade now, I've become certainly more open-minded. I believe in reincarnation now. The stuff that I've read, the stuff that I've seen makes sense to me. I don't know that necessarily means that spirits receive me better. Maybe it does, or maybe it doesn't. But I think that over time, I have become more open, if that makes any sense.
My mindset is always I try and think of it as you and I together, or me and Bob or Cory. And if I come up to you several times and tap you on the shoulder and you ignore me, but I know I can go over to Jeff and Jeff's going to turn around and start talking to me, well, I'm going to stop going to you. I'm going to start going to Jeff, because it's going to be more well received. And that's kind of how my mind processes it.
Well, what if the person that you're tapping the shoulder, the longer time spent getting tapped in the shoulder, then too becomes more sensitive, right?
And that's true. Yeah.
So what
Absolutely.
if you're tapping me on my shoulder, and in 2014, I'm brand new to this stuff, and I don't feel anything. What if you tap my shoulder for the next fucking 4 years, and in 2018 you're tapping because I'm thinking about it, and I'm getting in tune, and now I'm feeling that, and I'm looking to my right. You know what I mean? And it's something you got to consider. You got to consider the mind, and just doing this a lot, I look at things from that perspective, and I don't have the answer. I don't know what the answer is. I don't know if what I just told you is what happens, or if it's something totally different than what I think. All I have is my experiences. All I have is my theories, and my theory is that the longer you spend in this kind of thing, the longer you spend actively trying to be receptive to this, you're getting more receptive to it. If you seek it, you'll find it. You know what I mean? That's the way that I feel. If you open yourself up, you will find it. And I feel that I've seen that in my paranormal career, if you will. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured.
And that makes sense too. And I never really thought about the longer you expose yourself to it,
you're trying to open yourself.
Right. Yeah, I've never, after meeting with you guys and even watching all the shows and all that, it's that's never really been an aspect I thought of.
I mean, think about the most simple of things, in our everyday life of, you got a friend that, nudges you and says, "Hey, you smell that?" You're like, "No, smell what?" No, smell it. It smells like someone's making chicken. You're like, oh yeah, I guess so. You know, not something that everyone would pick up on, but all of a sudden somebody mentions it, and you're like, oh yeah, I guess I could see that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, the power of suggestion is definitely real. I mean, you can always, and that's a different thing in a valid point. You got to make with any, you're looking at your time spent in a place, whatever you're trying to interact with an entity, all that kind of stuff, like your own natural experience. I'm talking about unprompted. I'm talking about when you're in a haunted location and you're having something happen to you and no one has prompted it. That's like the holy grail of like the haunted experience, right? Before anyone's ever told you anything, you can't walk into a place and someone says, they used to bake chocolate chip cookies here. And you're like, oh, I smell chocolate chip cookies. I mean, like, they fed that to you, right? So, to your point, you know, you the more unprompted you are, the better.
Sure.
Now I really want nuggets.
Chocolate chip cookies. Well, Jeff, do you have anything to do a shot with, or you just got your beer with you?
Well, let me grab my drink is empty, but let me grab another one. One second.
We'll do a shot here. Nope.
All right, sir. We figure do a shot, and you want to wrap it up, or you want to start if we can squeak in a quick pick of the week?
Let's do a quick pick of the week after the shot.
Let me do a unprompted, unpaid product plug because I have not paid for this. I drink a lot of seltzer.
Well, hang on. Real quick before you do that, we're about to do pick of the week, which is where each one of us picks something that we do shamelessly plug and promote. So
this is perfect.
Exactly, it is a perfect time for it. So we'll take a swig here once Nick gets back, and then we can go to pick of the week, and we'll put you first on the list.
All right.
How's that root beer going down, Cory? I don't mind.
It's not bad. It's not going to be my pick of the week.
No.
So I will tell Jeff. So we picked up this Dr. McGillicuddy's root beer,
all right.
And so we normally we've been getting the apple pie.
I would take a swig of that.
It's and you know it's not bad. The root beer is actually very good, but the apple pie flavor that they make is unbelievable. I mean, absolutely fantastic. Only problem is it's so good they rarely have it in stock all the time. So we're working on the owner of the place, making sure it gets kept in stock. But until then, Bob and I are doing root beer, and I think Nick wasn't able to get any root beer or apple pie, so he's stuck with Fireball.
No, he could have got. He could have.
I won't argue against Fireball, but
you drink it every weekend for a year, and then you're ready to move on to something else.
Yeah, so that's
three or 4 years for me, but yeah.
All right, fair enough.
Well, cheers, gentlemen.
Good to see you
guys.
Jeff, thank you for coming on, sir, and we'll do this.
Of course, man. It's always a pleasure.
We'll do the pick of the week.
Love you guys, and I hope that this year, I mean, Schnozzcast is fucking amazing the way you guys do it, but hopefully this year Todd and I have some cool new locations in place, and maybe if you want, we can bring you out with us and find some cool ways for you guys to maybe live stream or something from your page and come out with us.
I was gonna say, should we think about that, guys?
Look at how excited Cory is right now.
Like evolve. You can always do the same format that you're doing right now, but look at new formats too. What if you guys came out and did a live stream with us at a haunted location? How cool would that be?
Jeff, trust me, we've been wanting to do a remote from a live location.
You guys totally.
I mean, having you guys on the show before, having you on now, I mean, that would only make sense and a good fit to start with that. So
we would love to. I mean, like Todd and I love collaborating with other groups that are local and do things similar to like what we do, and you guys are like definitely fit the bill. And we'd love to have you out sometime, whether it's at a location we've the Six or the Norris farmhouse or whatever, or a brand new one. I mean, like we're looking at locations, and we got a few lined up right now that have been put unfortunately on hold, because of COVID. But we plan to here in the near future do some traveling, and it'd be great to have you guys join us.
Well, now that I've officially shit and pissed myself.
Hold on.
Todd would love it.
Jeff, I
Hold
don't know if you're a dog owner or not.
I know it.
I don't know if you're a dog owner or not, but generally dogs wag their tails when they're super, super excited. And what you're seeing Cory do with his left hand right now is very similar to a dog.
Well, first and foremost, I know how hurtful it can be in any relationship when you tell someone you love them and they don't reciprocate. So we love you guys too.
We do.
Okay, Jeff?
Yeah.
We love you and Todd. We do.
We love you too.
Yeah, we do. Absolutely, 100%. But yeah, we would love to do that. I know we mentioned it the first time, and life goes on and everything else. But when it happens, it'll happen. But it's nice to know you guys are still receptive. So that's
absolutely cool. No. Todd and I love just working with people that are like from our area or share a similar goal or whatever. I mean, like we've done things like giving lectures at schools. Like when like high schools or whatever. Like we've done that. We've gone to libraries. Like we're very like community oriented. I think it's because of my background and Todd's background. Like I grew up in Taylor. Todd grew up in like Allen Park, and like we were very involved each, school wise, and like the kind of it's like sort of transcended into like our business, right? So DPX is like this entity, and now we want to like give back and like kind of engage the community. So you guys are like friends of ours. We want to involve you too, and I would love to have you guys join us somewhere, and maybe expand your broadcasting and do some live streaming or something like that.
That would definitely
be a little different.
Definitely be awesome.
Yeah,
fantastic. Well, Jeff, what was the product you were going to shamelessly plug for your pick of the week?
Well, that's a good question because I don't remember
the drink that you were drinking.
You were drinking it.
Oh yeah. They're not paying me at all, but I've had lots of seltzers, but the Bud Light seltzers are the best seltzers. They're better than Corona. They're better than White Claw. The seltzers are really good. That's it.
What flavor is that?
This is mango.
Oh,
okay.
But you can get a 4 or 5 pack of them for like $15 or something.
I know there's going to be some comments on the cast as far as because there are some very strong White Claw lovers out there.
I'll tell you what. I'm a newbie, I guess, to seltzers, but I've had the White Claw, I've had the Truly, I've had the Corona seltzers, I've had the Bud Light seltzers, and I'm going to tell you what, man, I will shamelessly say on behalf of DPX, out of all these seltzers, I think the Bud Light seltzers are the best.
So
these are really good.
So hang on, and we just need to make a verbal agreement right here and now that if DPX does somehow get an actual sponsorship by Bud Light, the Schnozzcast gets a cut of that, since this was all brought up on the Schnozzcast.
Wow.
Well, due to the fact that I think it's very unlikely, I'll go ahead and agree to that right now verbally for you.
You're on record now.
That's it. All the DPX signs are going to start having Bud Light, logos at the bottom of them, and
we've gotten sponsors. They're mostly from like backpack and camera companies. So I think a sponsorship from Budweiser is unlikely, but never impossible, right?
You never know. You never know.
Yeah. Hey, we're the funny thing is, man, like you guys started this podcast, this group that you're doing, just from an idea, right? Same thing with me and Todd, DPX. We just started out. I remember the first day that Todd and I started DPX, the very first day. This was it was December 5th, 2016. I was in Todd's living room with Todd, and we invited all of our friends to like the page, and made the page and all that stuff like that. We just grew it from there. It's the same thing that you guys are doing with your page. You create a foundation, you have a vision, and you grow it. And it's the same thing you guys are doing. And I admire you for pursuing what you want. That's cool. It'll pay off for you.
Super
Thank you,
kind.
sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate that, man.
Nick, you want to? You got a pick of the week before we wrap it up?
Yes, I do actually. Mine's also a drink. My dad started drinking these, and I've had I think 3 now, and they're actually pretty good. So my dad went through like a transition, like his whole life. He wasn't a big drinker. My grandfather was. Everyone else in my family was. Nobody like, I'm gonna beat you when I get home drinking, but like we just all like to have a good time.
Okay.
You know? No. But my dad, just always saw my grandfather, his father, and was just like, oh, I can't be a big drinker, So he always had rum and Coke, and it would be like 1 on a Friday, and that was it. And then he went through this weird, awkward, like Mike's Hard Lemonade phase, and I'm like, what? So he switched from that and started like when we would go out. Someone came to him and they were like, well, I can give you vodka and lemonade. And he was like, this is amazing. Well, why have I never thought of this? Like it was like brand new information. From there, he transitioned to margaritas, still 1 or 2, and that's it. So he brought over Cayman Jack.
Hey.
That's not like Panama Jack's brother. But he brought over Cayman Jack, and I tried it, and it's actually really good. It's really good. It's a good.
I've had it.
Yeah, it's good.
It's why I aid you.
Yeah,
because I've had it.
Yeah, isn't it good?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. So it's 5.8% alcohol by volume. Nice little bottles, margaritas to go. Dude, they're fucking good. On a hot day.
In my defense, I don't drink much that I don't like.
Okay. I don't know if I really have a retort for that because I'm Irish and German, so I'm kind of the same way, but yeah, Cayman Jack, you gotta look it up. It's
I have had that though. It is good. I'll confirm. It is good.
Very nice.
Cheers.
Very nice.
Here's to you.
Cory, you want to go, or you want me to go while you finish your dip?
Oh, you can go ahead because I got to grab my pick of the week because I actually have a visual for you.
You got a dip? I gotta put one in if you're dipping.
Dude, if it's another Funko fucking Pop,
It's not a.
Oh, please.
I'm ending the podcast right now.
You can't.
I can end the audio.
Oh yeah,
I'll start playing the theme music. It's gonna.
The thing is, I've been a guest on this podcast, but I haven't asked you guys any questions.
Well,
oh, that's unfortunately we do have to wrap this one because we're way over our time.
All
right.
You know what we should do though? The next time we get together,
next time bring me on so I can grill you guys.
Next time we'll take we'll figure out how much time we've got. We'll take the first half to talk about nothing but DPX and paranormal activities, and the second half to talk about everything else. No paranormal stuff, just regular talk.
So
don't even talk about DPX. Shut up about DPX. Who cares about DPX? I want to grill you a lot of questions.
Whoa.
This is what I want to do.
Hey Jeff, so do you, just because we're wrapping up the podcast, we're still going to do the Zoom. Are you available to still hang out?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So we'll talk more about that after Cory's pick of the week, and just stay on the Zoom.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm down chill.
All right, well, Bob, if you want me to go now, I got my visual with me. So I happened to come across a Dunham's that was open the other day, and
Pops.
nope, they do not have Funko Pops. But I was walking around, and as you guys know, I'm very particular about my shoes and like flip flops, comfortable shoes. And I came across, and this is the fitting part. The shoe company is called Hey Dude. And
again with the dude.
Yeah.
They make these, and they're very lightweight, like almost like a slipper. Like
Jeff is so appalled he turned the lights off.
No laces. You just slip them right on. It's not a whole shoe, but it's not an actual flip flop. It's insanely comfortable. But
Question is, would that get you to the top of Mount Everest?
Oh, this is like the most protective thing I own.
All right.
It almost looks like a painter's canvas.
So, hey, dude, shoes.
Actually, from maybe it's Zoom, maybe it's the miracle of Zoom, but it actually looks a little bit comfortable. I'm sort of half paying attention to what you're saying.
They are very comfortable.
It looks like it's made of hemp.
I hope it's made of hemp. I'll tell you what, if that's made of hemp, if you can prove that, I'm buying a pair. I'll say that right.
Well, I will look into it and see if that's what it's made of.
Well, it's green. It looks like fucking. It looks like tweed, and the brand is called Dude.
Hey, dude.
Dude, that is the jellies.
Exactly. Thank you.
Jellies for 2020. That's what
these are. The jellies of 2020. That's exactly what I was thinking when I bought them. So thank you for reconfirming that, Bob.
I had to meet you guys because I was peeing.
Luckily, we heard the toilet flush, so that was good.
I was peeing, so I had to meet you guys.
I'm gonna trim that out. I'll trim that out of the audio. That's fine.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. So, Cory, you and your hemp shoes.
Yes. So
look of it.
The Jeff, 2020.
Jeff, did you not know that your front-facing camera was on the whole time?
It was dark. It was dark.
Yes, it was. Well, we're gonna find out on YouTube, I guess, how dark it actually was.
For everyone listening to the podcast, just turn up your brightness.
You couldn't see my giant wiener.
All right. My pick is Tidal. Tidal's a music streaming service like a Spotify, something like that. It's normally like $10 a month, but they've been running. It was supposed to end in April, but it's the parents to keep on going. They're running a plan where you can get their top tier service for $4 a month for 4 months, which they would normally be $10 a month. But the thing about Tidal, which is different than everybody else, is that they do lossless.
Isn't Tidal Jay-Z's company?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. So I'm like, you know what? For $16 for 4 months, I'll give it a try. And I'm here to tell you, on a good stereo, I can absolutely hear a difference. It sounds pretty amazing. And so if you're, would you say objectively is better than Spotify though? Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. Because
really?
Spotify just uses normal, it's like MP3s quality.
Here's the thing though. Here's what I love about Spotify. You can find any song, any artist on Spotify. Would you say that Tidal's got the same ability?
No. But what they do have sounds better. And
yeah,
I listen to vinyl and I have a good stereo and I wanted to give it a try. And I don't know, I'm going to ride it out for 4 months. I figured for $16, not a big deal. And I'll see what I think about it at the end of the 4 months. But
that's definitely good. I mean, $16 for that is a good, experiment, if you will. But, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm a devout Spotify lover. I love Spotify so much. I'll fight for Spotify until Spotify dies. But I love the fact that I can find anybody, any song on Spotify, any artist on Spotify. I like that. Well, they're very comprehensive, I guess.
I'll tell you this, I would keep them both because I love Spotify for the same reason you do. But when I want to listen to Magical Mystery Tour, or if I'm going to listen to Tool's new album, I want to really hear
for whatever reason. Yeah.
What I want to know is what.
I'm fucking with you.
What Spotify religious war is going on that Jeff is willing to die for? That's what I want to know.
I mean, I'm willing to fix bayonets and walk up a hill and fucking stab people.
Okay. All right, fixing bayonets.
Jesus.
Let's start the annual Memorial Day rewatch of Band of Brothers, Jeff.
I will die for Spotify.
I'm ready to fucking save Little Round Top for Spotify.
Wow. All right, well that's Schnozzcast for this week.
Yeah. Put me on
So-
YouTube. Make me famous. Make me infamous. Who cares?
If only we could do that for ourselves, much less you.
We'll get there one of these days.
All right. Well, Jeff, thank you so much for coming on. We're going to stick around afterward just to shoot the shit and have a few drinks. Otherwise, for Schnozzcast, this is Bob saying goodbye. Cory?
Good night, everyone. See you on the next one.
Nick?
Yeah.
Have a good night, everyone.
Jeff Adkins?
Good night, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Love you.
Thank you, guys.